ethos, modus operandi, or mission statement has always been to leave people better off having dealt with us. But predicated before that is an understanding of where I think the market will be. So because we deal in volumes of dollars in purchases, large volumes, much more than a normal investor, that makes us, to a certain extent, a little bit more vulnerable to fluctuations. It also can make us look more prudent when things go really well. So we don't do it really for either of those reasons. We do it because we believe that there's going to be a net growth in asset value over the next 3 years. So the one thing that the market had taught me, and I'll actually go back and I'll give you a very quick scenario of a story about my dad when I started in my own real estate business. When I started in my own real estate business, the company that I'd left, I was the number one salesman and lister in that company, and I started off on my own, and the principles of that business, and fairly so, and principles of other businesses that were competing with the business I was originally in, started targeting me because they didn't want me to get the same sort of run on that I had when I was working for an employer. So one day I went to my dad, I was 6 months in, and my dad said to me, "Oh, how's it going?" I said, "Dad, geez, it's the hardest fucking thing I've ever done." You know, and what I'm finding is my competitors are coming in and discounting their rates to try and get my business. And a few things were happening. The first thing that was happening was my opposition were mentioning my name to people who never even had me on their list to get in. So they were getting me on their list to get in because the opposition were mentioning me, which was a blessing and, you know, quite humbling. The second thing was my dad said, "Well, why don't you do what we did in the markets?" And I said, "Okay, Pa, what was that? Remind me." He goes, "Remember your nunno, my grandfather?" He goes, "When stock was in short supply, a few things would happen. He would keep the stock for the clients, his loyal, consistent clients, but he would up the ante on price. So he would sell less and make more money, but the people that he was dealing with knew they would pay more for us, but always knew that he had stock on hand. So when they couldn't get it from somebody else cheaper, they would always come back to us."
Yeah.
Now, so we took the same attitude in real estate. So what I did is I put my rates up slightly and said to people, "If you want me to deal with your house wholly and solely," and remembering that my ethos, John, with selling is I sell you nothing, but I will give you a feeling that you may want, and that's why you will buy. So once you understand that, then the next thing becomes pertinent. So I up my rates. So beforehand, my strike rate was about 78% out of everything that came on the market I would list. It went down to about 20%. So I wasn't listing anywhere near what I used to, but I was getting a higher rate for it. And bit by bit, as people started talking about our service level and about how genuine we were and about our marketing prowess and the advertisements I used to have with my kids and the photos, which legitimised me as a family man, people would start paying what I wanted. So in that case, we're doing the same in this business. So we're one of the few developers that are actually finishing with turnkey product. So, and I suppose to give a bad analogy, if someone bought a $1 million product off the plan, would they pay $1,050,000 for it completely finished? And would the banks finance that? And the answer in both cases for me is yes. And that's what I've learned. So that's why we're doing that, because there's an old Italian saying that says, "He who has the land has the keys." And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.